And we are back. Mock Draft Simulator. My second one of the season. Yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. This is 2 rounds. With trades. So, yeah. Here is, in case you want to see the top 10 for what the draft would be. It's probably gonna be the most I show off. We're starting out number 1 overall. I firmly believe now. I didn't want to believe it before. Because in my last mock draft, I had them trading this pick away with New England. I do think the Bears are going to take Caleb Williams now. I do think they are going to take quarterback. I love Justin Fields. It hurts to say as a Packers fan, but he is my favorite college player ever. He was the one I watched because I'm an Ohio State fan. And I have no idea where he's going to go. My best guess would be Pittsburgh or Denver. So, yeah. Number 2 overall, I think they're going to take Drake May. I don't think there's any question whatsoever. I like Sam Howell. I just don't think they're going to bank on him being their quarterback of the future. When Drake May, in my opinion, is probably the same caliber player right now and has a way higher ceiling than Sam Howell. At number 3, we have the New England Patriots. I'm going to have them taking Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU, 3 in a row. The Patriots, I think, are going to be an interesting team. Why? Because they ended up, not the Patriots. The Broncos ended up releasing Russell Wilson. I really do think Russell Wilson is going to sign a 1-year deal with the Patriots. And I think that's where Russ is going to go. And I think that's just going to let Jaden Daniels sit a year and develop. So that way, come year 2, Russ will either be retired or looking for a new team. And Jaden Daniels will be ready, have a year under his belt, and is not really pressured to perform immediately. And number 4, I have the Cardinals. I think this is pretty obvious as well. Marvin Harrison Jr. They are losing all of their receivers. And I think Marvin Harrison Jr. would be wide receiver 1 even if they kept around every single receiver they had already. The Chargers at 5, I think they are going to take Joe Alt, tackle out of Notre Dame. They are a team who really has a lot of offensive issues. Their defense is pretty good. Very injury prone, but when they are healthy, they have a great defense. And their offense is just kind of what needs work. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Austin Eckler. There are a bunch of running backs going into free agency. It looks like DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley. There is a good shot they could easily sign one of those guys. And I think that probably would be the play. Derrick Henry as well. Number 6, we have the Giants. I have them taking Malik Nabers, wide receiver out of LSU. In my opinion, that's the Giants' biggest need, is getting help for Daniel Jones or whoever their quarterback is going to be into next year. And number 7, I have Tennessee. I have them taking, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, Alumayiwa Fashanu, offensive tackle out of Penn State. Same thing with them. They need to bolster up that O-line. They need to have Will Levis be able to be nice and protected if he is going to be their quarterback. And I feel like that is going to be a very good pick for them. At number 8, I have the facts. A lot of people are saying they're going to get Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, I've even heard. I don't think that's really going to be the case. I think they're going to stick with Desmond Ridder, but also draft J.J. McCarthy, quarterback out of Michigan, to kind of have a quarterback battle between the two. So, yeah. At number 9, I have the Chicago Bears. I have them taking Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington, giving whoever their quarterback's going to be, whether it's going to be Justin Fields or Caleb Williams, some help. And yeah. Just note for this mock draft as well, I don't have the Bears a pick trade. they're more than likely going to get a first or a second in this year's draft for Fields. I don't have that down. My best guess for him, though, would probably be the Raiders. So I could see him going there, and probably the Raiders would give up their second-round pick. At number 10, we have the New York Jets. I have them, once again, going to give Aaron Rodgers some help. They're going to be taking Talise Fuaga, offensive tackle out of Oregon State. Once again, they just got to give help to him. We don't want him playing 4 downs again, so give him some help. At number 11, I have the Minnesota Vikings taking the first defensive player of the draft, Dallas Turner, edge out of Alabama. The fact that I have someone going at 11 as the first defensive player is pretty insane, but at the same time, I just feel like a lot of these teams up here, biggest need is offense, and I feel like this is a very offensive-heavy draft class, at least for the beginning. At number 12, I have the Denver Broncos. They're going to also take an edge, Leita Latu, edge out of UCLA. Probably pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. At number 13, I have the Raiders. They're going to be taking Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle out of Illinois. I could have sworn his name was Jerzon. Now it's Johnny Newton. I might have to change that in my notes. But yeah. At number 14, I have the Saints. I have them taking J.C. Lapham, offensive tackle out of Alabama. There's rumors that Marshawn Lattimore is going to be traded, so I feel like if those rumors aren't true, they could take if those rumors are true, they could take Terrion Arnold. But in my eyes, I don't really see that being realistic. I mean, we just saw the Saints go 9-8 and barely missed the playoffs. I don't understand why they would get rid of such a key part of their team when they were right there to the playoffs. They could easily make it next year, especially Jay Scott better play Derek Carr. At number 16, we have the Seahawks. At number 15, we have the Colts. I have them taking Terrion Arnold, cornerback out of Alabama. Lucky for them, the Saints did not take him, so they end up getting their guy. Yeah. At number 16, I have the Seahawks. I have them taking Kenyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. In my opinion, there is a 1A, 1B between Terrion Arnold and Kenyon Mitchell. Kind of take your pick on who you want. You can't really go wrong. At number 17, I have the Jaguars taking Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson. We have a spree of cornerbacks going right now. At number 18, I have the Bengals taking Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. The fact that he fell all the way down here is insane. In my opinion as well, the only place I could really see him going is the Chargers, and I don't feel like the Chargers would take a tight end 5th overall when they have, in my opinion, bigger needs, and they could just re-sign Gerald Everett if, came to that. He's a very solid guy. Starting with the playoff teams now, Rams at 19, I have them taking Jared Verse, edge out of Florida State. Boosting up that defense, looking to make another run to the playoffs, and hopefully making it past the wild card, because, man, they were super fun to watch last season. At number 20, I have the Steelers. They're going to be taking Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon. Yeah. They need to give some help for Najee Harris and Kenny Pickett, or whoever their quarterback may be. And we see the Steelers. They consistently make the playoffs with bad teams every year, so imagine what they could do with a good team. At number 21, we have the Dolphins. I have them taking Byron Murphy II, defensive tackle out of Texas. The Dolphins don't really have a lot of needs in terms of positional values. So I have them taking that. At number 22, I have this Eagles, I have them taking Cooper DeJean, safety out of Iowa. They just released Kevin Byard, which means they could use a safety, and I feel like Cooper DeJean would be a very good safety. I believe he also can play corner, so if they need, that with Darius Slay and James Bradbury getting up there in age, it'd be a very nice, player to fill the shoes. At number 23, I have the Houston Texans. They're going to be taking Keon Coleman, wide receiver out of Florida State. Getting some help for that team. They could really use it. In receiver-wise. Obviously, they have Tank Dell and Nico Collins. But I really do think they could use a third receiver. And Robert Woods just, I don't think, is that guy. So, at number 24, I have the Cowboys taking Amarius Mims, tackle out of Georgia. Sounds like Tyron Smith is going to be testing the free agency market, and I doubt he's going to be re-signed. I think they're just going to take their guy right here. Green Bay at number 25. They could take, in my opinion, two players. Kool-Aid McKinstry or Tyler Guyton. I have them taking Kool-Aid McKinstry. I just feel like cornerback is a bigger issue. I feel like David Bakhtiari could be back for another year. Whether he does or not is not for me to say. But realistically, it's all going to depend on what happens to him. If he stays, I think they take corner. If they release him or trade him, I think they take offensive tackle. At number 26, I have the Buccaneers taking Chop Robinson, edge out of Penn State. They're doing a lot of stuff right now. They just re-signed Mike Evans to a 2-year deal. Sounds like they're working on a long-term deal for Antoine Winfield Jr. I assume they're going to bring back Baker Mayfield. So that's pretty much the big three they had, and sounds like they're going to get all three of them back. So that's perfect for them. At 27, I have the Arizona Cardinals taking Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. Back-to-back receivers in the first round. It's crazy, but in my opinion, that's what the Cardinals need, is receiver. At number 28, I have the Bills, and he's not even here, so we have to scroll for him. Xavier Worthy, wide receiver out of Texas. He broke the combine record with a 4.21 40. I mean, that is fast. That is faster than Usain Bolt fast. So, in my opinion, it just kind of makes sense. Granted, he is on the smaller side, but I feel like the Bills also, they have Khalil Shakir, Stephon Diggs, and potentially Gabe Davis. Who knows? I feel like he would fit very well, Xavier Worthy would, with that team. 29, we have the Lions. I have them taking Graham Barton, guard out of Duke. Getting their O-line bolstered up even more. Very useful for their two running back system and giving Jared Goff some more time to pass, even though they have one of the better O-lines already. At 30, I have the Ravens. I have them taking defensive tackle Leonard Tyler out of Miami, Florida. Ravens, same thing. They just don't have a lot of needs to where they would reach, or to where they would reach. If you look, Bo Nix, they're not taking. They're not taking any of these guys. So, at number 31, I have the 49ers. They're going to be taking Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. I'm not expecting him to play immediately. I'm expecting him to probably sit behind Trent Williams for at least a year, probably even two. Yeah. And finally, to end the first round, there's still a second round, I have the Chiefs taking Troy Fautanu, offensive tackle out of Washington, giving Patrick Mahomes some help. They could have taken receiver, realistically, but I feel like they'd rather have Mahomes have time to make plays than have, it's like that meme we saw with the Bengals a while ago where you draft Penei Sewell, you're able to complete a pass to a not so talented receiver, or you draft Ja'Marr Chase, you're able to complete a pass, or you have a talented receiver, but you don't have the O-line to really get it to him. I feel like they'd rather have the O-line part. Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas, is going to be going to the Panthers, in my opinion, giving that team some help. Adam Thielen is their best receiver, which would not be a bad thing if that was 3-4 years ago, but it's not. So, Patriots, I have them taking, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Kingsley Suamataia, offensive tackle at BYU. I cannot pronounce names for the life of me. I'm trying my best. Cardinals, I have them, they're not taking a third receiver, but I do have them taking their number one need, it says, Kamari Lassiter, cornerback out of Georgia, giving that secondary the little boost that they probably need. For the Commanders, I have them taking Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle out of Arizona. I believe they just released Charles Leno, so this is a great, replacement guy, giving Sam Howell or Drake May the protection they need. The Chargers now, I have them not making a pick. I know it's a bit late, and I'm not doing exact trades, by the way. I'm just doing what I can get done. I have them trading with the Minnesota Vikings. We're just going to do 37 for 42. Propose. It's accepted. All right, the Minnesota Vikings. I have them not taking Bo Nix. I have them taking Michael Penix Jr., quarterback out of Washington. It just makes sense in my opinion. I do not see the Vikings not bringing back Kirk Cousins. So, I know there's rumors of him going to Atlanta. I could very well see that, but that's only if the Vikings don't bring him back. And there is such a little world where I don't see them bringing him back. Number 38, I have the Titans. They're going to be taking Troy Franklin, wide receiver out of Oregon, skipping Ladd McConkey. I just feel like Troy Franklin is the better receiver personally, so I have him taking that. At number 39, if you don't remember, I talked about the Giants, whoever their quarterback would be. Well, this is where that conversation came in. I have them taking Bo Nix, quarterback out of Oregon. In my opinion, he's probably the better quarterback right now than Michael Penix. It was like the same thing with C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young last year, where Stroud is better now, but Bryce Young has the better ceiling. Bo Nix is better now, but Michael Penix has the better ceiling, in my opinion. So we're going to do that. Number 40, we have the Commanders. They're going to be taking edge Darius Robinson out of Missouri. Once again, they have so many needs that there's not really much to talk about. 41, I got the Packers taking an interesting pick, skipping over Cameron Kitchens and taking Tyron Nubin, safety out of Minnesota. I just feel like that's more of a fit for the Packers, so I'm going to have them doing that. Now we have the Chargers, previously the Vikings. I have them taking TJ Tampa, cornerback out of Iowa State. It's their number one need for a reason. They're going to be able to get it done here. At number 43, I have the Falcons. I think they're going to be taking new guy, Ladd McConkey, wide receiver out of Georgia, giving a new weapon for their new quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. Number 44, I have the Raiders. This is the pick where I could see it being the Bears with the Justin Fields trade. But I don't have that trade yet, so we're not going to do it. I have them taking, and we're going to have to scroll just a bit for this, Ennis Rakeshaw Jr., cornerback out of Missouri. It's one of the biggest needs for the Raiders. I feel like they're going to address that need right here, right now. Number 45, we have the Saints. I think they're going to be taking defensive tackle T'Vondre Sweat out of Texas. get an offensive tackle, get a defensive tackle. They're really working on getting the linemen all figured out. For the Colts, I have them taking Cameron Kitchens, safety out of Miami, Florida. He was projected to go at 30 according to PFN, but he ends up falling to 46. 47, I have the Giants. This is where we see the first running back taken, Trey Benson, running back out of Florida State. We haven't seen one yet. It's a bit late in this, midway through the second. I doubt Saquon Barkley's coming back, so they get their running back of the future, or at least for 5 years. Next, we have the Jaguars. I think they're going to be taking Christian Haynes, UConn guard, bolstering that O-line, trying to give Trevor Lawrence more time. I mean, we saw how good they were, and then they fell off. So I feel like if they just improved just the slightest bit with this draft, they would definitely be a playoff contender. The Bengals, I have them taking Malachi Corley, wide receiver out of Western Kentucky. I don't know what the deal is with Tyler Boyd. I don't know the deal with T. Higgins. I know he got franchise tagged, but whether that's going to just be a one-year thing or if they're going to try and work out a long-term deal, I don't know. I feel like this is going to be the new wide receiver they're going to have as the free guy, no matter what, whether it's Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins who's going to be gone. At 50, I have Philly. They're going to be taking linebacker Edgerrin Cooper out of Texas A&M. The Steelers, I have them taking no one, actually, because I have them making a trade. Where are the Steelers at? There they are. I have them making a trade with Tampa Bay. We're just going to do the same thing we did last time, swap second-round picks. And for the Buccaneers, I have them taking Zach Frazier, offensive center out of West Virginia. It's their number one need. They get it done here. Next, we have the Rams. I have them taking a bit of a reach here. Scrolling down, taking Patrick Paul, offensive tackle out of Houston. They need O-line help, and they're going to get it whether it's a reach or not. Philly now, I have them. We might not see A.J. Brown around there anymore. I feel like they could, or Quez Watkins, or Devonta Smith saying, they could probably get another receiver. I have them taking Jalen Polk, wide receiver out of Washington. Next, we have the Browns. I have them with their first pick of this draft, taking Michael Hall Jr., defensive tackle out of Ohio State. They could use the defensive tackle help, and I think they're going to get it right here. Miami, I think they're going to be taking Cooper Beebe, guard out Kansas State. Dallas, I think they're going to be taking running back Jonathan Brooks. They're probably losing Tony Pollard, so it's just kind of makes sense. The Steelers, previously Buccaneers, I have taking, I don't see him here, so hold on, we're going to, I don't know how to pronounce it. Beau Braid, safety out of Maryland. Steelers could use a safety, so I think they're going to take that. Next, we have the Packers, but they are not going to be making a pick. I have them trading their pick as well with the reigning back-to-back Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. We're once again just going to do the simple pick swap. I'm not actually working at the logistics. For the Chiefs, they're going to be taking their guy. They get 2 picks, really. I'm taking Chris Jenkins out of Michigan. They could have chose him or Rook or Horo. I definitely pronounced that wrong. But they don't, and that's who the Texans are going to take, making their pick. Next, we have the Bills. I have them finally, this edge has been sitting here for a while. Adisa Isaac, edge out of Penn State. They get their guy. Next, we have the Lions. I have them also taking an edge. Not Chris Braswell, but Braylon Trice, edge out of Washington. I just feel like he's a bit better. For the Ravens, they're going to be, in my opinion, Roman Wilson, wide receiver out of Michigan. Odell's probably walking. I would not be surprised if they try to find a trade for Rashad Bateman. Zay Flowers is really the only solidified receiver on that team. So they're definitely going to get someone else. 49ers, I have them also taking an edge. They're going to be taking Chris Braswell, edge out of Alabama. And finally, Green Bay, I have them. We're going to be scrolling a bit for this. 74, Bucky Irving, running back out of Oregon, to kind of finish their offense off. We are not going to be rating it. Is there a way I can just see full result? Yep. All right. I'm just going to slowly scroll through this so you can see the final result. There's round 1. How I go to round 2 is up here. And this is my mock draft part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. I personally did. I do plan on doing one more, potentially 2. One more mock drafts. And yeah, if you can't tell, I'm really struggling with videos. I'm not a big college football guy. I usually watch Ohio State every week, and that's it. I'm not a big college football fan. I'm hoping that EA College Sports, or whatever it's called, will hopefully be a good game first off, but will also change my opinion on college football. Plus, Madden is just not really doing it for me right now. As I talked about, I just am not a fan of EA. Big issues as well is I sat down, recorded a stream. I want to say yesterday, may have been 2 days ago. The stream got corrupted, so yeah. It's just so unmotivating for all this to happen. And to be like an NFL YouTuber, I don't really have anything going on until the XFL, or excuse me, the UFL. So with that being said, videos are probably going to be slower. I mean, they have been. This is, I think, I've really only uploaded like 2 videos since the NFL season ended. We have the mock draft and the end of season power rankings. So yeah, videos are going to be slow, but they're going to come back to 2 a week for the UFL. And the plan for UFL is I'm not going to do shorts. They're probably just going to be full-length videos. There's only 8 teams. It's pretty useless to do shorts for it. But with that being said, hope you enjoyed. I did. I'll see you guys next time, which will probably be a Browns franchise stream. Yeah, goodbye. Hope you enjoyed.